Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, man. It's been a week. It's been a long week. I tried to do this video before, but apparently like the file was corrupted or something and just didn't want to upload at all. That being said, yeah, let's go ahead and start the video. Alright, so clearly we're going to be talking about the lineage factor and everything going on with Sanji. Before this last chapter dropped, I'm going to try to drop another video later on today. That will be a review for this past chapter that just dropped. 1024. Okay, so what do I think going on? Because, you know, who asked me anyway? But what do I think that's going on with the lineage factor and everything going on with Sanji right now? If you guys have watched the other videos that I made, then you'll know clearly that I think what's going on is that the genetic factor and everything going on with that is tied directly to Guide Valley, and I don't think it. I think there's a lot of implications of what could be done and what could be said for Sanji and anybody else going into the future. You'll see what I mean in a minute, but yeah, I definitely think that Vegapunk will be the lurking legend that will show up in the end. Everybody thinks that the rage suit is helping Sanji right now. I think the rage suit may actually be hurting Sanji right now, but we won't really know until we get to that point where we find out if it's an upgrade. We'll see it in the battle. We'll see it. We'll see it mid patty cake. We're gonna see it. Okay, so why do I think Vegapunk is gonna show up? Why do I think Vegapunk has anything to do with this at all, outside of the lineage factor? I think Vegapunk was at God Valley, and I do think he was a member of the Rocks Pirates. I do think that he was a scientist slash doctor, if not either or, you know. I think after God Valley, there's some stuff in the other video that I said, but you know, I can explain that later on in another video. That's for another time. We're still waiting for more evidence, more breadcrumbs, more insight into certain topics like the voice of all things before we can discuss anything else dealing with what I think entirely happened at God Valley and after God Valley, specifically after God Valley. That being said, we know for a fact that Big Mom gave Kaido his devil fruit during the Battle of God Valley. I think that's also the moment where Vegapunk became obsessed with dragons, because we know for a fact that until the Straw Hats got to Punk Hazard, that they didn't think it was possible to even see a dragon. They didn't think that a dragon could exist. I think it was the same thing for Vegapunk. I think he had heard legends of it, and whatever happened at God Valley, the experimentations, because I do think that God Valley was a place of similar to the Garden of Eden, but instead of anything, they were trying to recreate. They were trying to gain knowledge to recreate or create devil fruits. Maybe they were already trying to make duplicates of the devil fruits that already existed, or maybe they were trying to create new devil fruits. But regardless, in the experimentations that they were doing on the current devil fruits they had, led to them being raided by the Rocks Pirates, which was the whole reason for them going there in the first place, was to raid the military's compound, which is why Garp was there. And Roger more than likely showed up because he saw the trail of blood that Rocks was leaving around. Now that we already know that Vegapunk is obsessed with dragons, I am presenting you a time when that may have happened to him. And another reason I think that the dragon thing is going on with God Valley is because we see Roger and his crew with an egg after God Valley. They're riding around with a giant egg. We also know for a fact that something else happened after God Valley too, and that involved with Roger having a child on the ship. I don't think that the child that he talked about was this egg or anything that came from this egg. I do think that child came from God Valley though, and we'll get more into that in a second. But what does this mean for Sanji? It means to me that Sanji has an opportunity to not just have Lunarian fire burst out of his leg. It means that he might actually have the possibility to have the strength of a giant in his legs, in his whole entire body. But since he's, basically a capoeira fighter, like, he could probably literally kick with the strength of a giant. Or he could have, like, I don't know, any kind of trait of any animal that's in the world of One Piece. Any race, any animal, anything in the world of One Piece. He could have a possible trait for it. There could be a combination of traits that produces a new trait. I'm kind of excited about this. Like, I'm hoping that it's just simple stuff like the Lunarian fire or giant strength or something like that. I hope it's not like, oh, he has the stealth of with the size of a Tantara, so he can basically be invisible by hiding his aura with the DNA that produces the size, some weird whatever. Don't do that, please, Oda. I know you're better than this. I know for a fact that you're better than that. But anyway, I do think that Garp was at God Valley for that reason of the whole reason Garp is even in this. Why? Because I forgot that I put this here. I know I put this here and I put this here. I did mention that there was an egg, and people think that when Roger was referring to a baby, that he's talking about them taking care of that egg or something like that. I don't think that was it. I think it was an actual baby, and I think he took care of that under the request of Garp. I think Garp wanted him to take this baby, hide it from the world government, and protect this baby and keep this baby safe. I think that baby eventually grew up and still wanted to be a pirate, and eventually joined up with Roger's crew because they came back. I don't think even to really check on the kid, but regardless, Roger accepted that kid onto the crew. And yeah, I think that kid was Shanks. Yeah, I think Shanks was born at God Valley as a source of some experimentation. I actually think that Shanks is actually the clone of Joy Boy. Me personally, I think he's the clone of Joy Boy. You don't have to agree with that, but I am trying to get you to understand that I think Shanks was created as an experiment of some sort from God Valley. I don't know exactly how that experimentation could have worked. I don't know exactly how they could have gotten. I think it could have been two possible things. Either they were able to extract the original creator's essence in the creation of the devil fruit, or the last user of that devil fruit from the fish nomi, or the fish fruit, whatever you want to call it, and that resulted in the model type of the dragon that was used in the creation of it, as well as the last person to use it, while still somehow maintaining the original devil fruit. If that is the process, then that will easily explain how that dragon egg came about, even though dragons are extinct at this time. We know that Ryuma killed a dragon, so they clearly were around at one point. We know that Luffy and the rest of the Straw Hat Pirates don't even think that they were real. So there's a stretch of time and period where dragons existed, became extinct, and the world completely forgot about them. I think that this fruit was made at a time when dragons existed, resulting in a real dragon being born from it. I also think that I think that's exactly why Vegapunk thought that his experimentation failed, was because that it didn't result in the creation of a dragon. Also, it only just replicated the fruit. And so he felt like he failed, even though the world government were like, no man, you actually produced the devil fruit, you did exactly what we wanted you to do. And he still thought that he was a failure because he's fixated on creating dragons. I think that's exactly why I could just see him being wacky enough to think that. Other than me thinking that Shanks is the clone of Joy Boy, like, why else would his hair be red? I mean, kind of just makes sense, don't you think? Anyway, Hopefully this one works and uploads. I'm gonna go ahead and try to work on the review for the chapter that just dropped. And please follow me on Twitter. Follow me on YouTube. I'm gonna try to work on a couple more things and get a couple more things going in rotation. I definitely want to do a battle rap review. I definitely want to do videos comparing certain battle rappers to Straw Hat Pirates or any other pirate in the world of One Piece or any other character from any anime. I'm really trying to combine all my passions into one platform in one place. But regardless of everything, I just want you guys to know I appreciate you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Let's have a conversation about it. Here or on Twitter. And yeah, stay safe, stay sane. Nerds up.